If you're like me, you've always wondered who would win in a fight between Gaius Julius Caesar and Frederick Barbarossa. Two generals, two eras, one impossible battle. Welcome to A Historical Clash. Today the battlefield is timeless. Somehow both Caesar and Barbarossa, along with their armies, have been pulled from history and dropped into the same reality. They don't know why, they don't know how, but they know this. One of them must defeat the other. Steel is drawn, shields are raised. History is about to break. Julius Caesar, consul, dictator, conqueror of Gaul, architect of the fall of the Roman Republic. His army, the Roman legions, disciplined, drilled, deadly. Soldiers who could build a fort in an afternoon and fight all night if needed. Caesar didn't sit in a tent. He led from the front. At Dyrrhachium, when his men broke, he seized a shield and ran to the line himself. At Munda, he charged with sword in hand, a general who was also a warrior. He was also pragmatic. Caesar recruited Germanic cavalry, untamed wild horsemen who fought without saddles. They were unpredictable and perfect for flanking enemies and breaking momentum. Strengths, control, speed, flexibility. Experienced officers like Labienus and Antonius. Weaknesses, weaker cavalry compared to medieval knights. Vulnerability in open terrain, if allowed. Frederick Barbarossa, the Red Beard, Holy Roman Emperor. Not just a ruler, a warrior king of the medieval world. His army was power made visible. Armored knights, heavy cavalry, crossbowmen and foot levies. Barbarossa wasn't a back-line commander. He fought in person, lance lowered, armor shining, his presence turning battles. His brilliance, siege warfare. At Crema, he crushed a rebellious city without rushing. He built siege towers on the spot. He starved them. He demoralized them. He won by slowly tightening the noose. Barbarossa's army had a code of honor, feudal loyalty. His enemies feared his cruelty, but his men admired his bravery. But his system had flaws. His knights were powerful, but not as coordinated as Roman legions. His footmen lacked Caesar's professionalism. And while his tactics worked in medieval Europe, they depended on overwhelming force. Both commanders were tactical masters. Caesar at Pharsalus, facing Pompey the Great, outnumbered. He expected Pompey's cavalry to flank his right and set a hidden line behind his horsemen. When the charge came, his veteran infantry countered it with pila and steel. Pompey collapsed. Barbarossa at Crema. No charge, no glory, just pressure. Siege towers, supply blockades, psychological warfare. 7 months later, the city surrendered. One commander wins with tempo and surprise, the other with presence and relentless pressure. Now the battlefield. A flat grassy plain under a burning sun. No castles, no towns, just space and time. Caesar arrives first. 9,000 legionaries, tightly formed, eyes steady. Germanic cavalry scout the flanks. Labienus and Antonius take their positions. Then Barbarossa. 6,000 armored knights, 2,000 crossbowmen and levies. Steel gleams, hooves thunder. He rides with them, the Red Beard in full armor. Barbarossa strikes first. A crossbow burst. Caesar's men raise shields in testudo. They hold. The knights charge. A tide of iron surging towards Caesar's right. But Caesar is waiting. The Germanic cavalry retreat. drawing the knights in. His infantry flanks fold, just slightly. Not in panic, but by design. Barbarossa's knights push in, then stall. Caesar gives the signal. A hidden reserve hits their exposed side. The trap closes. Barbarossa fights at the front. He swings, commands, inspires. So does Caesar. Sword raised, rallying the center. Two leaders, side by side with their men. But Caesar's army moves like a single body. Discipline holds. The knights falter. Barbarossa is thrown from his horse. His knights break. The field is Roman. Victory goes to Caesar. Not because he was braver, not because he was stronger, because he was faster, more precise. And he commanded not just men, but a system. A machine of conquest, built on discipline and flexibility. But what if the terrain had favored a cavalry charge? What if Barbarossa had time to fortify the ground? What if Caesar's troops had faced a siege? That is a battle for another time. This has been a historical clash. If you want to see Alexander face Napoleon, Saladin versus Genghis Khan, Charlemagne against the samurai, then subscribe, comment, and tell us who should fight next.